What's up, everybody? Welcome back. All right, so today we're going to be working with back bends, and our peak pose at the end of class is going to be wheel. If wheel is already in your practice, awesome. If not, you'll be able to give it a try. All right, so let's first come to a comfortable seat on our mats. I want you to have a nice, tall, straight spine here. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Settle in. You can choose to have your palms face up to receive some energy from the universe today, or you can bring them face down for some grounding energy. So let's sit for a moment and let's take some deep breaths together. So I'd like to utilize our box breath today. So let's breathe in deeply into our diaphragm for the count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top. 2, 3, 4. Out, exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold all the air out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4. Count on your own. Hold. Exhale. Hold it out. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold it out. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it out. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. All right, return to normal breathing. Let's all take a big breath in together. Fill the air, all the air in your lungs, fill up. And then sigh out. So maybe you think of a word or a phrase that you'd like to embody during your practice today. If you're not into that, you can skip it. Maybe think of something that you need more of off of your mat. You got that word or phrase? All right, so let's get started. We're going to come to all fours, and we're just going to do some cat-cows here. So let's drop the belly, lift the head, inhale for cow pose. Really feel a stretch in the bottom of your belly. And then round the spine, exhale all the air for cat pose. Feel the stretch between your shoulder blades. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, round the spine, cat pose. Let all the air out. Maybe you take some organic movements here as you're flowing through your cat and cows. If you want to do some kidney squeezes, moving side to side. Maybe some barrel rolls. Someone that I follow compares this to like scooping out the peanut butter jar, where you kind of like lower your hips and then you raise them back up and do some snaky stuff with your spine. Getting all the peanut butter out of the bottom of the jar, she says. Tracy Lynn, if you ever come across her, give her a watch, one of her videos. She's definitely one of my favorites. So finish up with your cat-cows. Come back to a neutral tabletop position here. And we're simply going to extend the left leg behind us. Maybe your toes just come down to the mat. And then you're going to extend your right hand in front of you as if you're shaking someone's hand. So if you're comfortable here, go ahead and raise that left foot. Okay, bird dog here. And then on an exhale, you're going to squeeze everything into the center line. So get your elbow and your knee to touch. And then inhale, stretch everything back out. Let's take a couple more like that. Take them on your own. Follow your breath, inhaling and exhaling with your movements. And when you squeeze into the midline, tone your belly, right? So like really knit your ribs in together, feel a little flex. And then when you extend out, see if you can feel something in that glute. So really kick like the leg back and tighten the glute, okay? All right, let's come back to center. Drop the right hand and left knee back down. Neutral tabletop. And then let's go ahead and raise the right arm up to the sky, keeping level hips here. Inhale deeply. And then exhale as you thread your right arm underneath your left armpit, bringing your right temple to the ground here. So make sure the hips didn't get too wonky. If you want, you can go ahead and just put your hand on your sacrum. That's that flat spot in the bottom of your spine. And just make sure it doesn't feel too off kilter. So if you're comfy here, you can just either leave your hand on your sacrum or return it back to the ground. You can also walk your fingertips forward, tense your fingers for a nice stretch in the left side body. You can also, if you want to go for a bind behind your back, grabbing for the right thigh, you can do that as well. So you just sweep your hand on back and then grab for your right thigh and keep pulling that left shoulder up and back, exposing your chest to the left side of your mat. One more deep breath in. And then exhale it all out, returning your hand from wherever it is back down to the mat in front of your face. And then on another inhale, we're going to come back up, extending that right hand up to the sky. Deep breath in. And then exhale, return the right hand back down. Okay, so going into the other side, so our bird dogs. So let's go ahead and extend the right foot back behind us. And then the left hand in front of us as if we're shaking someone's hand. And then if you feel comfortable, go ahead and lift the the right toes up off the ground. Inhale. And then exhale, draw everything into the center line. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Feel that stretch and feel the contraction in the glute as well as your core. Make sure you're not dumping into that other shoulder. Okay, return everything back down to the mat. Let's go ahead and thread the needle on the other side. So inhale, the left hand goes up to the sky. Check in with those hips. Make sure they're not twisting too much. The twist should come from your mid-back. And then on the exhale, go ahead and thread the left hand underneath the right shoulder. So whatever you did on the other side, let's do on this side. So let's check in with our hips, okay, level. So let's either walk our hand out in front, tend the fingers, or go for the bind behind your back if you did so on the other side. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the air out. Your hand finds the mat again, right hand to the mat in front of your face. Inhale and lift up, left arm follows all the way up to the sky. Look up if it's okay. And then exhale, bring the hand back down to the mat. And we're just gonna go ahead and sit back on our heels here. So just real quick, I'm gonna turn to face, just real quick, we're gonna simply bring our hand, right hand in front of us, right? Okay, and then left hand, just pull back on your fingers gently, feeling a stretch in the bottom of the forearm. Good, and then let's stretch the wrist the other way. So bring your hand so that it's really limp in front of you here, okay? And then push in on the top of the hand, so you can see here, so that your fingertips are pointing down. You're gonna feel a stretch on the top of the forearm, top of the wrist. Okay, other side. So go ahead and extend your left hand. Let's pull back on the fingers, okay? Feel that stretch. Okay, other direction, left fingers point down towards your lap. Push in on the hand so that you feel a stretch in the top of the wrist. Ooh, this one's tense. Really feel that stretch on this side. Usually it's my other wrist because I fractured that at one point in my life. But this one's kind of ouchy today. Okay, let's shake them out. That's what we're gonna do for wrist stretches today. So if your wrists are sore after class, just kind of repeat some of those stretches. I usually spend a little bit more time on the wrist, but I've taken some classes recently from other people, and they haven't necessarily spent so much time with the wrist stretches. So if your wrists are sore, do not fear. That is totally normal. Just try to stretch them out. Some of that sensation does go away the longer you do yoga, but you know, you're asking your wrists to do something that we're not used to doing. So let's make it to our downward facing dog. I'm already kind of there, so let's cue that for you. Let's come to our downward facing dog. First down dog of the day, maybe. So let's start to bend in one knee and then the other. Ooh, feel my toes crack. Keep a nice flat back here. Keep pushing through the shoulders, but then kind of relaxing the shoulders so that they're not bunching up around your ears. No worries if your heels don't touch, especially at the beginning of class. Your hamstrings will stretch a little bit with time and gravity. Maybe by the end of class, you'll be able to touch your heels down. All right, so let's round forward. So snake the spine. So really put an arch in the back, round forward into your high plank here. And then let's come into a side plank on the right side. So roll onto your right hand, and you can either stagger the feet like I have them here, one in front of the other, or you can put your left foot on top of your right foot. And then if you feel comfortable, your left hand goes up to the sky, and don't let the hips sag like this. You really want to lift up, even if this makes an arch with your body, okay? Inhale nice and big. And then exhale, left hand goes back down to the mat. And we're gonna go on to the other side. So let's roll onto the other side of our feet. Right hand goes up to the sky, strong through that left shoulder. Again, you can stagger your feet, or you can put your right foot on top of your left. Make sure you're lifting those hips. Inhale, nice and big. And then exhale, right hand comes back down to the mat. Push back to your downward facing dog. Let's take one big breath in here. Exhale it all out. Inhale high on your tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, hop or step to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let something go. Inhale, roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Head and neck come last. Sweep your arms up to the sky. Look up. And then exhale, fold at the hips, lower back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, relax the shoulders away from the ears, nice flat back. And then exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back, high plank. So first chaturanga. I'll cue this one for you heavily, and then after that, just kind of follow along. So inhale, high plank, shift forward an inch. Exhale as you lower down with control, elbows close to the side body. Inhale, push the ground away, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, push the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, high up on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, hop or step to the top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let something go. Inhale, roll on up. Head comes last. Inhale again. Legs, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. What the heck am I talking about? Let something go here. Hang heavy for just a moment. Maybe shake out your neck. Maybe come back to that word or phrase. And then inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. High plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Look up if it's okay on the neck. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. Inhale, high up on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, hop or step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up. Head comes last. Exhale. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low. Inhale, upward facing. Engage the legs, engage the thighs so much the kneecaps lift. And then exhale, push back to downward facing dog. One breath in here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, high on the tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, hop or step to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise on up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Look up. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back or hop back, chaturanga. Lean forward. Exhale, and then lower all the way down to the belly. Keeping your hands kind of next to your lower ribs. Inhale, the head, the shoulders come up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. You can push up to high plank from here, or come to your tabletop and push back to downward facing dog from there. So high plank or tabletop, and then push back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, the right leg sweeps up and back.
And you want to plant your foot on the wall behind you. So don't have it turned out. Have your toes turned down towards the ground. And then lift from the inner thigh and the buttocks. And try to flatten that left heel back down to the ground as much as you can, keeping the lift in the right side. And then pull the knee, the right knee, into your chest as you slide forward into a high plank, squeezing that knee into the chest, and then plant the right foot between your hands, coming up into a warrior one, so the left foot goes to 45 degrees to the outside of the mat. Train track the feet, meaning they're to the right and the left of each other. They're not in line. Get light into the hands, and then come on up, warrior one, inhale. Check in with that front knee. Make sure the knee is tracking towards the pinky side edge of that right foot. And then exhale, come back down, plant the hands, step the right foot back, and then lower all the way back down. And then lift up for baby cobra. Inhale, hold it, and then exhale, lower back down. Plan your escape, tabletop or high plank. Push back to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up, toes down to the ground. Lower that right heel if it's popped up more than it needed to. Square the hips. And lift from the left inner thigh and the buttocks. And then start to round the left leg into your chest, pulling it forward into your high plank. Squeeze it in, and then plant it between your hands. Train track the feet. Right foot goes out to the 45 degrees to the right side, excuse me. Then get light into the hands again. And then lift on up, inhale, warrior one. Square those hips to the top of the mat. And then exhale, make your way back down to the mat. High plank, lower all the way down, baby cobra with control. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale as you push up, all fours or high plank, and then back to downward facing dog. All right, one more time. Draw the right knee up and back, and then draw it into your chest. Plant it between the hands. Coming back up, warrior one on the right side. Engage the core. Square the hips to the top of the mat. This time we're going to cactus the elbows. Baby back bend here. Look on up. Feel a stretch in the front of the chest, around the collarbone. And then exhale, back down to the mat. Inhale, high plank. Exhale as you lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push up to high plank or all fours, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg goes high behind you, three-legged dog. And then exhale, draw the left leg into the chest, step it through the hands. Coming into warrior one on the left. Pivot that right foot, get light into the hands. Inhale, coming up, warrior one. Square the hips, and then cactus the arms, baby back bend here. Engage the core in order to back bend, protects the back. And then on your exhale, come forward, step the left foot back, and then just push back to downward facing dog. We're gonna skip the lowering down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, draw the right leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Circle out the hip. Go in one direction. And then switch. Keep trying to square the hips to the mat. And then draw the right knee into your chest again. Step it between your hands. Turn the left foot, warrior one. Inhale, coming up. Square the hips.
Cactus the arms, back bend here. And then exhale, straighten your spine, turning to warrior two. So align your right heel with your left arch. Widen your stance if you need to. You're gonna center your pelvis directly underneath your shoulders and then look over your right middle finger. Check in with that front knee. Make sure your knee is still tracking towards the pinky edge side. It's not collapsing in. Inhale. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand goes up and back, left hand to left thigh. Make sure you're not coming out of that bend in your front leg. Inhale. And then exhale, straighten that right leg. Shift your torso forward. Leave the legs where they are. And then come into triangle pose. Inhale. Exhale, keep pulling that left hip back as if you're in between two panes of glass. And then exhale, bring your left hand down to the mat. Step your left foot in just a little bit towards your right foot, shorten your stance. And then we're going to revolve our triangle. So plant your left hand, inhale as you draw the right hand up to the sky, looking towards the right side of your mat. Inhale, look up at your right hand, and keep pulling that right femur back and left hip forward. Again, right hip back and in, left foot, left hip forward. And then on exhale, return your right hand back down to the sky, back down to the ground from the sky. And then we're going to stop by a quick pyramid pose here. So keeping that right leg straight, just relax your torso over your right thigh. You're going to feel a stretch in the back of the hamstring on the right side. And again, keep squaring those hips. So the tendency is for that right hip to want to come forward. Keep pulling that femur back into socket. Keep pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. So your hip points are pointing towards the top of the mat. All right, inhale. All right, big inhale. And then exhale, the forehead comes a little closer to your shin or kneecap maybe. Okay, and then let's come forward into a flat back. Let's wiggle the left foot back behind you a little bit more, like we're coming back up into a warrior two. So align your right arch, or your right heel with your left arch, excuse me. And then we're gonna come into a side angle. We're not coming into warrior two. So let's come on up just a little bit, right? And then let's pivot our torso towards the left side of the mat. So we got a couple choices here. For this side angle, you can put your right forearm on your right thigh, and then your left arm can go up and overhead. You can bring your right hand to the mat, and your left hand again can come up and overhead. You can also use a block to prop yourself up here if you're somewhere in between those two poses. So enjoy the stretch of the left side body, breathe deep, and then exhale, pivot your torso back towards the mat, coming into a crescent lunge. So we haven't been here before yet today. So let's come onto the ball of the left foot. So it's almost like a warrior one, but you're on the ball of the left foot. So get light into the hands, engage the core, sweep the arms up, inhale, crescent lunge. So you're gonna bend into that left knee behind you, right? So you wanna bring your shoulders directly over your pelvis. If I straighten that leg, something funky happens with my back here, right? So let's keep a little bend, bring the pelvis underneath you, and then maybe work on trying to bring that heel closer to the mat. All right, so let's inhale, bring your hands to prayer overhead, and then exhale, you're gonna bring your left elbow to your right knee, twist to the right. Revolve side angle. Inhale, and then exhale, plant your hands, step the right foot back, and then lower all the way down, baby cobra. You reach your belly. Inhale, draw the head and neck up off the mat. And then exhale, lower back down. Plan your escape, either all fours or high plank. Back to downward facing dog. Very good. Okay, other side. So let's lift the left leg up to the sky. Stamp your foot on the wall behind you. Lift from that inner thigh. And then draw your knee into your chest, pulling that left leg between your hands, stepping it down. All right, coming into warrior one. So pivot that right foot, strong into the core, square the hips. Inhale, coming up. Check in with that front knee. Make sure it's tracking towards the pinky edge side. Inhale. Cactus the arms, back bend here. And then exhale, let's open it up to warrior two. Left heel in line with right arch. Left heel in line with right arch. Look over your left middle finger. Check in with that knee again. Widen your stance if you need to. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, flip the palm, reverse your warrior. Oh, I got sweat going down my face, guys. Okay. Inhale, look up maybe at your left elbow. And then exhale as you straighten the right leg. And then just like your bottom half was in like concrete, shift your torso forward like you're reaching for something, but you can't move your lower half. And then as you exhale, drop your left hand, right hand comes up, triangle pose. Inhale, look up at that right hand. And then exhale, you're gonna come back down with that right hand to the mat, right? Step your right leg in just a little bit. So it's somewhere between 45 degrees and completely parallel. And then lift your left hand up to the sky, okay? Revolve triangle. So just like we did on the other side, you're gonna keep drawing that left hip back this time, because this time the left hip wants to come forward. And you're gonna pull the right hip forward. So again, left hip, pull it back in space, pull that left femur bone into its socket, and then pull your right hip forward, squaring the hips to the best of your ability. Inhale deeply. And then on the exhale, the right hand comes back down. We're gonna stop by a quick pyramid pose. So straighten that left leg even more, right? Square your hips, so keep drawing this right hip forward, left hip back. Right hip forward, left hip back. Keep a slight micro bend. So maybe not even enough to see, but just enough that you're not locking out the joint in the left knee. And then relax your torso over that left knee. With each inhale, get a little longer in the spine. And then each exhale, maybe you draw your forehead a little closer to your left leg. Inhale deeply. And then on an exhale, start to bend back into that left knee again. Wiggle your right toes back and then align your left heel with your right arch as if you were going into warrior two again, but we're going into side angle. Same foot placement though. So again, this can be what your side angle looks like. You can take a block and put your hand down on that, or you can widen your stance a little bit and bring your left hand all the way down to the mat. Look up at your right elbow. Inhale deeply. And then exhale completely. Inhale again, square your torso to the mat. Come up on the ball of that right foot. Train track your feet so they're not on the same plane, right? You want to be to the right and left of each other.
And then get light into the hands, coming up, crescent lunge. As you inhale, ooh, I lost my balance. Inhale, I wiggle and wobble too. Keep a bend into that right knee. Inhale deeply, bring the hands to prayer overhead, and then exhale as you draw the right elbow towards the left knee, twisting to the left, extend through that right heel. So push back on that right heel, make sure that right leg is nice and straight and strong. Inhale, and then exhale, plant the hands. Step the left foot back, high plank here, inhale, and then exhale as you lower down with control, elbows close to the side body. Baby cobra, inhale, and then exhale, lower all the way down. And then inhale, plan your escape, high plank or all fours. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. So let's go ahead and drop our knees. We'll go into a child's pose for a moment. And in your child pose, you're gonna have your knees really wide and your big toes to touch behind you. And then start to lower your chest towards the mat. And then really bring your hands forward as far as you can so that you start to feel a stretch in the side body. And keep reaching your buttocks back towards your heels. So you have this push and pull going on. And then start to walk your hands to the right side of your mat slowly. So one by one, just walk them on over. Let's feel a stretch in the left side body. Inhale deeply. Maybe your left hand is placed on the top of your right hand for a deeper stretch. And then exhale all the air out. Inhale, start to walk your hands back to center. And then continue on to the left side of the mat. Maybe your right palm goes on top of your left hand. Inhale deeply. And then exhale completely. Inhale, start to walk your hands back to center. Maybe you inch your fingers tips a little further. Maybe you want to roll your head from one side to the other, massaging your forehead, your eyebrows, your third eye. Whatever you want to imagine you're massaging up there. Feels so good, especially with allergies right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and push back to all fours. I'm a little hard on my mat with my forehead. It's cute. And let's push back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath, the biggest breath you've taken all day. And then let's sigh it out. Let's do that again. Inhale. Sigh it out. Awesome. Okay. Inhale the right leg up and behind you. Stamp it on the wall. And then draw your knee into your chest, pulling it forward. We're just coming into a crescent lunge, so stay on the ball of that left foot. And then inhale, get light into the hands, engage your core. Come on up, crescent lunge. Tuck that left knee, so keep a bend in the left knee. Tuck your pelvis underneath your shoulders. Cactus the arms, let's look up. Baby back bend here, engage the core to protect the back. And then exhale as you come forward. Bring your hands behind your back. If you have a strap, maybe grab it and you can hold the strap behind you. If not, just go for a bind, right? Lean over that right foot. And then maybe you bring your right shoulder towards your right knee, humble warrior. Come back up. Let the bind go if you have it, right? Extend your hands up and overhead, or you can bring them to heart center. You're gonna lean over that right
leg again, and this time we're going up into warrior three. So push off, and you can keep your toes down if you want here, right? And maybe you just play with lifting them. Or if warrior three is in your practice, you can go ahead and take warrior three here. Maybe you leave your hands at heart center. Maybe you extend them out in front of you, and you're flexing that left foot, okay? So don't point the toes, flex the left foot. This is very hard balance pose. And even if you have blocks, maybe put your hands down on blocks here, okay? If you're having trouble with the balance. Inhale, and then exhale, come into a chair pose here. Bring your feet to touch. And then exhale, bring your hands together, clasp them together, and then internally rotate the palms so the thumbs point down. Stretch them out in front of you. Half chair. Lower the hips a lot, right? So parallel if you can get it with the mat. Inhale. And then exhale, plant the hands, step on back. High plank. Inhale, push forward, lower down, all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Plan your escape on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot goes up and back behind you. Stamp it to the wall behind you. And then inhale, the knee into your chest. Step it through, plant it between the hands. Runner's lunge here. So we're going to crescent lunge. Stay on the ball of that right foot. Inhale here. Get light into the hands. Rise up. And then exhale, cactus the arms, back bend here. Look up at the ceiling. Engage the core. And then exhale. Go for the bind or grab the strap again if you have it, if you're a humble warrior. Drawing your left shoulder towards your left knee. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, rise on up. Let the bind go, if you have it. And then we're going to bring our torso over that left thigh again, so hinge forward. Maybe bring your hands to prayer to start with. And then push off. Maybe your toes just come to hover, right? Maybe your toes are still touching. Maybe you lower down and lift that left or right leg behind you, right? Find your balance. Flex the foot. Maybe you extend the arms in front of you. I don't have a whole lot of room here, but. And then let's go into chair pose. So drop that right foot next to your left. Sweep the arms up if they're not already there. Sit back. Inhale. Exhale, half chair. Go for the bind in the hands. Thumbs point down. Lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Fold forward. And then I want you to slowly roll all the way up. Head comes last. So for this first, I'm going to move into the middle of my mat so you can see me here. For this first standing pose, single-legged mountain, we're just going to draw our right knee up as if we're standing on a block in front of us, right? We're about to step up. Just hold it here. Put your hands on your hips, and then go ahead and straighten that right leg in front of you. Flex your foot. And then rebend the knee. Bring your right hand to your right knee. Left hand goes behind you. Single leg twist. And then replace your right hand with your left. Twist the other direction, revolving your twist. Right hand goes behind you. Stay nice and tall through the spine. Inhale, and then exhale, come forward. Don't drop the leg yet. So if you feel comfortable, you can grab for the big toe with your right hand. If you don't feel comfortable, just stay in this single-legged mountain pose here, okay? And you can do the same thing that we're about to do by grabbing on the knee. So if you have the room in your hamstrings, I'm hoping I do, because I haven't done a lot of hamstring stretches this morning. We're gonna go for a big toe grab. So go ahead and extend your right leg in front of you, pulling the right shoulder back in socket as you do so. And you're trying to straighten the right leg. Inhale deeply, grow a little taller. And then exhale, bring the foot back in, going into tree pose. So you can stamp your right foot on the inside of your left thigh or lower left leg, or you can bring the toes to like settle in on the ground somewhere, and then just have the right heel on the inside of the ankle. So if you need a prop, feel free to bring your foot down. And then you can either, in your tree pose, you can either bring your hands to heart center, right? Or if you want to, you could bring your hands up overhead and grow your tree, grow your branches. Maybe take a mudra if you know one that you like with your hands. And keep pulling that right hip down, right? So there's a tendency to really lift the right crescent, to lift the left hip up. So inhale deeply here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bring the left foot in front of you, keeping the hands up if you got them. And then just gracefully lower the right foot back down to the ground. Perfect. And then going into the right side, so you can bring your hands to your hips if you want. Let's just lift the left leg up, single-legged mountain pose. Engage the core. Stretch the left foot out in front of you. Flex the toes towards the face. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, rebend the knee. Don't let the foot drop if you can help it. Bring your left hand to your left knee and then twist towards the right. So the right hand goes behind you. Look towards the right, maybe look behind you to the right. Inhale deeply. And then exhale back to center. Replace the left hand with your right hand, twisting to the left side of the mat. Look behind you. Grow just a little taller in the spine if you feel like you've collapsed a little. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. And then inhale, stretch the left foot out in front of you again. And you can again rebend it and stay in a single-legged mountain pose, or grab for your left big toe with your left hand, coming into a big toe grab. So inhale, and then as you exhale, kick that left foot out in front of you, and then keep drawing the left shoulder back into socket as you try to straighten the left leg. Maybe you want to bring your right hand up, maybe not. Inhale. And then exhale, let the toe go, rebend the foot, rebend the knee, and then bring your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Also, if you have a wall near you, I should have mentioned this on the other side, you can use a wall to prop you up as well and go through this. If you don't quite have the balance, but you're able to stretch and do these movements, but you just need a little assistance, that's perfectly fine. So into your tree pose, and remember you can bring your left foot to the upper, lower, or all the way down to the ankle. Just skip the knee. I don't know if anybody's had any knee injuries from putting their foot on their knee, but it's always been a contraindication during yoga. So we will also skip it because I don't want to be the first to injure someone. So let's either bring our hands to prayer in front of our chest, or you can grow your branches up in your tree pose and keep drawing that left iliac crest or your left hip down. okay? Try to level your hips. And the more you push into your right thigh with that left foot, the longer you can make your spine, right? So kind of draw everything into the center line and then stretch up. Gives you a little bit more balance, right? All right, so gracefully as possible, draw that knee back in front of you without letting the foot drop. Extend it out in front of you. Maybe your hands come up overhead, engage the core, and then bring the left foot back down to the mat as gracefully as possible. And then let's go ahead and forward fold. Shake out the head. Maybe you want to grab opposite elbow. Maybe you want to grab for the top of your neck here, right? Grab right at the base of your skull and just kind of gently let the weight of your hands and arms pull on your neck. Torso comes to your thighs. Inhale deeply. And then exhale. We're going to bring our hands down to the mat. Step our feet back just slightly. So we're in a really foreshortened downward facing dog. And then I want you to drop your forearms down to the ground for dolphin pose. So this is a great opener for the chest and the shoulders. And then I want you to walk your feet in as much as possible so that you can still push your chest through your shoulders towards your thighs and feel a stretch. So dolphin pose is to open the chest up, open the shoulders just a little bit. So keep drawing your chest through your shoulders towards your kneecaps or thighs. Inhale deeply, and then exhale completely. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, drop the knees. And then just slither forward onto your belly here. So we're going into Sphinx pose. Bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders or slightly in front of your shoulders. And then again, just as you're doing in dolphin, draw your chest through your shoulders, pulling the shoulders back and the chest forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, lower the forehead down to the mat. Bring your big toes to touch behind you and stretch the hands out in front of you. So you're nice and long through the body. And then I'm going to have you lift the arms. So bring your palms, stretch your arms out in front of you, and then the palms should be facing one another, right? As if you have like a block or a ball between your hands. So the palms aren't touching, but they're facing towards each other. And then inhale, we're going to lift the arms and the torso. And then exhale, lower back down. Again, inhale, lift the arms, the head, and the torso up. And then exhale, lower back down. Third time we come up, I want you to bring the legs up as well. So you're pretending to be a giant banana, okay? So inhale, lift up, head, arms, and torso, and then lift the feet. Keep the big toes touching. Draw some tension through the legs, as if you had one leg, right? You're a mermaid. Inhale deeply, and then exhale, lower back down. Take a breath in, blow it all the way out. One more inhale to center ourselves. And then exhale it all out. All right, coming back up on the inhale, everything up, big banana. Exhale, stay for the exhale, don't go down yet. Inhale again. And then exhale, lower all the way down. And then bring the arms
next to your thighs. Palms face down. Inhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders again. Lift the hands, magnetize the pinkies towards each other in the back body. And then exhale, lower down. Once again, inhale, come on up. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the feet this time, bringing the big toes to touch. Inhale, come on up, lift everything, big banana. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Lift the legs into like a reverse tabletop and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth to release the lower back. And you can turn your head to one side or the other if you feel like you need some space to breathe. All right, so leaving your feet up like this, come back to stillness. And then you're gonna reach your right hand back and grab for your right ankle or the top of your right foot. And then we're gonna take the left hand and reach back and grab the right ankle or the top of the left foot. Excuse me. Left hand goes back and grabs either the left ankle or the top of the left foot. So each hand has its own foot or ankle. And then keep your knees kind of magnetized together. So don't let them flare out to the sides. And you can stay here. This is a bow pose, okay? If you want more, I want you to take a big breath in because in a moment it's going to be constricted. And then blow all the way out. And then inhale and lift up. So pull the legs back, lifting the torso, coming into a bow, okay? Inhale deeply, and then exhale completely. You're gonna hold this though. So as you breathe, your bow is gonna kind of rock, right? With your breath as you inhale and exhale. Really kick those legs back. Feel the chest open up. Feel the stretch in the front of the collarbones. And then exhale, lower everything down. Let the legs go side to side one more time, windshield wipering them. All right, so let's lift up to all fours. And then let's take a few cat-cows just to kind of release the spine. So let's first cat the spine. So push the spine up towards the ceiling. It might feel like you've aged a bit after all those back bends. Maybe you take some organic movements. Maybe you want to linger in one pose. Maybe you just want to switch to your cow pose. If so, drop the belly, lift the head. Feel a stretch in the belly. And then exhale, push back, cat pose. All right, let's push on back to our heels. So sit back on your heels and just swing your legs out to the side. And then come on to your buttocks. Bring your legs out in front of you. And if you're way back on your mat, let's take this opportunity to literally walk our cheeks forward, right? Okay, so let's lift one cheek and the other, and you're just walking on your buttocks. This is actually really good for the abs. Until you're like in the middle or a little bit closer to the front of your mat. And then extend your arms out in front of you and lay down as slowly as possible, recruiting the core muscles to lower you down. Awesome. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Bring your knees nice and wide so you're not constricting your breath. Maybe you want to take a happy baby. Reach your hands between your legs and then grab for your feet and pull the feet down towards your chest as if they were a bow that you were pulling back. And keep pushing your sacrum and your lower back into the mat. So don't try not to let the buttocks and the lower back lift up off the mat. Inhale. Exhale all the air out. And then let your feet go. Lift your buttocks up off the mat, shift it over to the right 1 inch and lower back down, and then drop your legs out to the left. Look over towards your right shoulder. If this is enough for a stretch for you, you can stay right here, or maybe you wrap the right foot or right leg into an eagle leg. Excuse me, so you wrap the right foot over the left for eagle legs, and it gives you a little bit more of a stretch in that outer right hip. Breathe in deeply. Exhale completely. And then inhale back to center. Undo the twists if you have eagle legs. Lift your hips up, move them over to the left a few inches, and then drop your legs out to the left side, look to the right side, look towards your left shoulder. Inhale. Maybe you take eagle legs on this side too. Exhale. Inhale. Feel that twist, feel that stretch as you inhale and exhale over the rib cage. On your next inhale, bring everything back to center, and then undo the legs if you went for eagle legs. Bring your feet back down to the mat, and bring your heels underneath your knees. So we're gonna go up into a bridge pose. And then if you want to take wheel, we're gonna do it 3 times. So if you wanna take wheel the second or the third time, go for it. For the first one, everybody come up into bridge. So plant your heels underneath your knees. And then as you inhale, start to lift your pelvis, lift your lower back, and push your upper arms into the mat. So you can stay here with like robot arms, okay? Or you can go for a bind underneath the back. So clasp your hands together, and then maybe you walk your upper arms underneath of you just a little bit more. And then inhale the hips 1 inch higher, and maybe you come up onto the tiptoes. And then exhale, undo the bind if you have it, and then lower down with control, starting at the top of the spine and working your way down. And then drop the heels once you drop the sacrum, okay? So you have an option here. You can do bridge pose once again, or if wheel pose is in your practice, go ahead and take it. If it's not in your practice, I'm gonna break it down for you on the third one. So if wheel is not in your practice yet, let's go ahead and do bridge pose one more time. For those of you that know wheel, go ahead and take it. So again, we're gonna ground our top of our arms, our humeruses, right? Back of our arms into the mat. And then inhale, lift the sacrum, lift the lower back, lift the mid back. And then maybe go for a bind underneath of you with the hands. If so, walk your arms in towards each other underneath of you a little more. Lift the heels. Lift up 1 inch more on an inhale. And then exhale, let the bind go if you have it. Lower all the way back down if you're in bridge or wheel. And then everybody, if you'd like to try wheel pose, okay, so this is what you're gonna do. You're going to bring your hands and with your fingertips facing towards your shoulders, okay? So again, hands come up and then just come right on back behind you, okay? So your fingertips should be facing towards your shoulders. If you have a long hair or a ponytail, I suggest you move it out of the way, or make sure that your hands are not on top of your ponytail. I have been there, it does not feel good, okay? So move your pony or your hair out of the way if you got one. plant your hands down on top, on the mat, just on top of where your shoulders lie. Fingers facing towards your shoulders. I want you to magnetize your elbows towards one another. So don't let them flare way out, or I don't know how you would do it, but or collapse in, okay? The tendency, I think, is for them to flare out. So with control, just like you did in your bridge pose, we're gonna start to lift our sacrum, right? Our tailbone, lift your lower back, lift your mid back, and then the head and shoulders come next. So you can lift up and you can put your head down. This is wheel pose, okay? If you feel like you have the strength in your arms, you can go ahead and push up even more into your wheel pose, and then you're gonna start to try to walk your feet in, okay? For more of a bend in the back. Stay here for 1, 2, stay here for 10 seconds, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Start to lower down on an exhale, head first, then shoulders, then mid back, then lower and sacrum. Okay, and then let's shake out our hands, our wrists if you're feeling a little tight there. Maybe even windshield wiper the feet and the legs again, right? One leg in and the other, just alternating. All right, come back to stillness. If you want to take a shoulder stand or a plow pose to counter your bridges and your wheel, you can. So how do we do that? If you are not familiar with shoulder stand or plow, so you can also, so first off, you can also just bring your legs up to the sky, okay? Flex your feet, point your toes, roll your ankles, what do you want to do, okay? So this is an option. If you want to do shoulder stand, you're going to go ahead and pike your hips up and then catch your lower back, your mid back, with your hands. Bring your elbows together on the mat, or closer together on the mat. Mine don't really go very close together, but I see other people getting them close. So go ahead and try. Wherever they fall, they fall. And then I want you to pretend like there's a juicy piece of fruit between your chin and your sternum. So don't smush it. Leave some space there so you can breathe. And then you're going to draw your hips over your shoulders, knees over your hips, and then feet directly over everything else. Okay, just like that, nice straight line. Inhale deeply. So you can stay here in your shoulder stand. You can bring your legs down for plow pose. So you're gonna plant your feet on the ground or the mat in front of your head, right? So you can leave your hands here, or you can just go ahead and lay them down. So you're going for a nice stretch here in the hamstrings. So you're flexing your feet once they touch down, and then straightening your legs. And again, you still have that juicy piece of fruit between your chin and your sternum. So you can breathe. And just enjoy the stretch wherever you are. So stay in your pose as long as you want. If you're ready to come out, go ahead and come out however you want. I like to try to do something cool. I don't know that's really that cool, but it feels cool. So let's, because I'm in the middle of my mat, so I'm gonna walk myself up. And then let's straighten out. Coming into Shavasana. So if there's any pose, anything at all that you wanna do before you find stillness, anything you're craving, go for it. Take that time. If you're ready for Shavasana, start to melt your body down towards the mat, releasing any tension. And just let everything hang, right? Let your feet drop out to the sides. Let your hands relax. Don't fight to keep them open or closed. Just let them be like dead bugs, right? Legs up, feet, fingers up. Maybe you
your jaw a little bit. Release any tension in your forehead, the eyebrows, and around the hairline. Notice if you're holding any tension there. I know sometimes I do, and I have to remind myself. If I don't notice that I am, I have to remind myself to let it go. As thoughts pop up, just let them be like clouds on a windy day. Acknowledge them, and then just let them keep blowing on by until the next cloud goes by or the next thought. Acknowledge it and just let it go. Maybe you notice how the air feels on your skin, the parts of you that are clothed, the parts of you that are bare skin, what that feels like, the temperature of the room is. Maybe you notice a sound that's near to you. Maybe you can hear something far away in the distance. Feel the weight of gravity pushing you down into your mat. Feel the way it feels like your mat is lifting you up, supporting you. Start to elongate your inhales. Maybe find some micro movements in the small joints. Start to roll on to one side or the other. Maybe you want to keep your eyes closed as you transition. Take a moment here as you lay on your side in your fetal position. And just let the nutrients of what you just did soak in. That was work, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's push on up. You can remain with your eyes closed if you want. You can stay in Shavasana if you want to, okay? So let's come to a comfy seat, whatever that looks like for you. And again, let's bring our hands either face up or face down on our knees. So I'd like to close out with one Om. You can join me if you want. So let's inhale deeply together. And then exhale the sound of Om. Inhale. Side out, exhale. Inhale again, bring your hands to heart center. Bring your thumbs into your chest. Maybe you come back to that word or phrase that you wanted to embody. How does it feel now? Achievable? Reachable? Do you feel like that's soaked in? Inhale your hands up to your third eye. I want to thank you for joining me today on your mat. Thank you for spending time with me, doing the work with me. I'm right there with you guys. This can be tough stuff for me too. The light within me bows down to the light within you. Namaste.